The beauty of Ireland in our own backyard, this church is home to 40 stained glass windows by one of the most famous glass artists in history. And the landmark parish is ready to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Hello, I'm Christine Persichetti. His name was Harry Clark. His life as a glass artist, illustrator, and clothing designer was short, but his work has lived on. And as Currents News' Jessica Easthope shows us, the only church in North America where his work is found is showcasing his legacy.
Pieces of the Emerald Isle encased in glass forever. The windows inside St. Vincent de Paul Church in Bayonne, New Jersey illuminate the sanctuary, even on the cloudiest of days. The church, which was built in the 1920s by the city's Irish immigrants and named a national landmark in 2011, is the only one in the United States where you can see the work of Harry Clark.
Signed Harry Clark Studio.
Harry was a book illustrator first, so the attention to detail was incredible.
The faces, the clothing, so I like to look at all the details.
Clark is considered to be among the greatest glass artists in history, but few people outside the art world know these windows exist. That's why historians Priscilla Iggy and Peter O'Brien are on a mission to get Clark's work the recognition they say it deserves.
An image of St. Patrick with his mitre and crozier.
Peter and Priscilla are also parishioners at St. Vincent de Paul. They say the beauty of Clark's work is in the details. But there's a darker side to this stained glass. Influenced by the Irish potato famine, Clark's figures are long and gaunt with somber faces, a sharp contrast to the full figures of Italian Renaissance art. He was also known for his illustrations for Hans Christian Andersen and Edgar Allan Poe.
This is a very unique style that you won't see anywhere else. There's a big difference in what you see. Every inch of a window has detail in it.
Clark's specialty was deep jewel tones.
Taking a blue and then making it lighter and darker. He didn't just stay with red, and he had degrees of colors.
Clark's work and legacy is a part of Irish history seen as a unique gift to the Catholics of Bayonne.
We try to make everybody realize how important and special they really are. That's why we write books and papers and give tours.
Just take it inch by inch and you'll see incredible things.
So this St. Patrick's Day, if you find yourself getting lost in the images within the Celtic knot frames of Harry Clark's stained glass windows, you might be considered lucky. In Bayonne, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
Thousands are preparing for the New York City St. Patrick's celebrations, and for Catholics, that starts with Mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral on Friday, March 17th at 8:30 a.m. The Bishop of Brooklyn, Robert Brennan, will be celebrating and viewing the parade. Be sure to tune in to Currents News. We'll have complete coverage. A group in Brooklyn and Queens is celebrating over 100 years of serving Catholic police officers. The Brooklyn Queens Holy Name Society marking 101 years of service on Sunday with a procession, mass, and breakfast. Bishop Brennan was there to honor officers who have earned the title Cop of the Year, recalling his own family ties to the force as he thanked them all for their sacrifices. The society also gave out scholarships to 3 young women who will be attending Catholic high schools. The Diocese of Brooklyn is about halfway through its Lenten pilgrimage. Today's stop, St. Rose of Lima in Rockaway, Queens. Bishop Brennan was there celebrating Mass with the parish's Catholic Academy, praying the Rosary, and exposing the Blessed Sacrament in their Adoration Chapel. This is stop number 19 of the 42 churches taking part in the pilgrimage. Since Ash Wednesday, pilgrims have been visiting a different parish in Brooklyn and Queens almost every day in an effort to experience the beauty of the church and the community there. And it's not too late to join them. Just go to dioceseofbrooklyn.org/Lenten pilgrimage for more information. A stampede of people tried to enter Texas at the U.S.-Mexico border. Almost 1,000 migrants rushed the Paso del Norte International Bridge on Sunday. Border Patrol agents were in riot gear and put up barriers to stop people from entering.
Grabe.
Thousands help the Holy Father mark a decade as Pope as the pontiff focuses on global outreach. In the last decade, the now 86-year-old Pope has visited every continent except for Australia. He's made 40 international trips and has traveled almost 255,000 miles. Let's take a look back at some of his most memorable visits. In Mexico, Pope Francis prayed for migrants. A few months later, he traveled to Lesbos in Greece to meet with refugees, a scene that touched many. The Pope has visited places where men and women suffer abandonment, hunger, and violence, like his trip to the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Tenu comme esclave sexuelle, et j'ai subi des maltraitances pendant 3 mois. Ils nous faisaient manger la pâte de maïs et la viande de chair des hommes tués.
In the Philippines, Pope Francis brought to light the tragic situation of abandoned children.
Kahit walang kasalanan ang mga bata, at bakit kaunti lang ang mga taong tumutulong sa amin?
After the pandemic, Pope Francis visited Iraq, a country struggling to rebuild itself after the effects of the Islamic State. The Pope's trips included countries where it had been decades since the last papal visit, European countries that are not historically Catholic, and countries like Canada, where he traveled to ask forgiveness for the abuses committed against Indigenous people in Catholic residences. Francis was the first pope to visit the Arabian Peninsula. In 2019, he visited the United Arab Emirates to strengthen ties with Islam. 3 years later, he traveled to Bahrain to denounce religious fanaticism.
Perché non basta dire che una religione è pacifica, occorre condannare e isolare I violenti che ne abusano in nome.
Some of the most joyful visits were in Latin America. There, the heart of the Pope's message was evident from the time he got off the plane in Brazil.
Pero quiero lío en las diócesis. Quiero que se salga afuera.
Despite health issues, Pope Francis is not slowing down. In fact, he plans to visit Hungary in May and Portugal in August for World Youth Day. Apart from being a world traveler, Pope Francis has accomplished a lot during his 10 years. The pontiff founded the Secretariat for the Economy to combat economic corruption in the Vatican. When it comes to sexual abuse, the Holy Father has seized every opportunity to condemn abuse and apologize to survivors. The Pope is also taking concrete actions, creating stricter protocols and tighter regulations on all levels. And Pope Francis has diversified his office by electing more women into executive positions in the church. Currently, 1 in 4 Vatican employees are women. And that is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news.